Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today, as always, and welcome to my 1,422 subscribers. Welcome to my new subscribers, and thank you to my existing subscribers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here this morning. Why would I be here? Is that success if I have more subscribers? Or is 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million subscribers, is that success? If you have a YouTube channel and that is what success means to you, then that is success for you. But it's not the number. It's not when you get there. It's the journey. Success is the progression of a worthy goal. No, success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. Earl Nightingale. I like that, because if you're moving towards something that you want in life, a desire you have, you are successful today. Many people think that you're successful only when you achieve the goal or when you complete the vision or the mission. And that's far from the truth. Many people look at people that are millionaires as successful, but a billionaire would look at a millionaire as poor. If both of those people have money or the accumulation of material riches as success. Now, someone else who some of us would consider poor, who lives in a hovel with his wife and a couple kids in a third world country, but he has food, he has a crop, he sustains himself year after year, watching his kids grow. Maybe he only earns, let's say, $500 a year. Some people earn less than that, but yet he's happy. Now, many of us would look at him as poor, as unsuccessful. But only you can determine what success is for you. Now, of course, if you're unhappy and miserable, you're not successful because you're not enjoying the journey. Are you even on a journey? If you're not going anywhere, if you don't have a destination, then you're not even on a journey. You're just existing. Was it Thoreau said, most people live lives of quiet desperation, desperate to take a risk, desperate to head out on an adventure, desperate to live a life to the full, to have abundant eternal life. Eternal life. What is eternal? What is eternity? Eternity is forever, correct? I know there are some religious groups that say, you're going to burn in hell forever, or you're going to be in heaven forever. Forever is now. Eternity is not some far-off place in the future or something in the past. It's now, the present moment. So you can have heaven or hell right here, right now. Why do you think people zero themselves out? Because they're living in hell. And why do you think some people live in constant bliss? Because they're living in heaven. The heaven they have created for themselves here on this very earth, or the hell they have created for themselves on this very earth. I've experienced both. I prefer to experience heaven on earth. And how does a person do that? You have to be right within yourself. You have to have a clear conscience. We all have a moral compass. And when we do something wrong, something that's wrong for us, it may not be wrong for someone else. When we do something wrong for us, we know it. Now, our logical mind will try to rationalize it, logicalize it. I'm not sure if that's a word, but you get the meaning. Or make it okay within ourselves. Well, he deserved it. He had it coming. Look what he did to me. Doesn't matter what he does to me. I'm only responsible for cleaning off and maintaining my side of the street. Of course, I'm not telling you if someone attacks you that you have to allow them to do that. You have the right to defend yourself as a human being. But what brought on this attack, if that's the case? We must look within ourselves, because we draw things into our life or we push things away from us. I know I've met people who want to quit drinking and they say, man, I can't get away from my friends. They won't leave me alone. It's because there has been no change in consciousness. Wherever you go, there you are. You cannot escape yourself. You create your outer world with your thought process, with your visions, with your imagination. That's why wherever you go, there you are. Many people leave a location, they think it'll be different somewhere else. It will only be different somewhere else if you become different in this other place. Now, many times a change of environment will change a person's thinking. But most of the time it doesn't. We revert back to our old ways after the environment becomes old or bland and unexciting anymore. The only way for true change in life is to change the way you think, to change your consciousness, to change the visions, the imaginings you have within your mind. Then the outer world will start reflecting that. I've helped people with many difficulties in their life, whether it be an angry neighbor, they're in trouble with the law because they've done some things that aren't right. And a few of these people, a lot of them facing jail. I remember one fellow was facing many years in jail. Mandatory years, some of them. A possible long term and a mandatory short term. Okay, I worked with this guy for a long time. And I finally told him, you need to work on yourself. You quit trying to fix these outer problems you have and work on yourself. Therein lies the problem. And he was ready, and he accepted my advice or instruction. And this guy started working on himself, realizing he was the problem, not all those things out there. And when he did that, it miraculously worked out for him. No jail time whatsoever. Nothing. Only a few hours of, he had to do some service. We'll say it that way. And it was amazing. On the reverse side of that, I've helped other people who are facing similar situations, and they tried to please the powers that be instead of looking within and asking themselves, why? How did I cause this? Why is this happening to me? What can I change within myself? They didn't do that. They just tried to fix the outer, and they ended up having many more troubles and having to face the consequences of trying to fix the outer world instead of fixing the inner world. It's like trying to fix my hair by touching the mirror. Man, what's wrong with it? It just won't work. It just doesn't work. Any change you accomplish by fixing the outer before adjusting the inner will be temporary. It won't last, because the inner creates the outer. And that amazes me that people don't understand this and use this principle more. Because we all realize, and I've said it here many times, that everything we see in the outer world created by man began from an imagining, a thought, a thought within the mind of man. So your world is just a reflection of what you're thinking. If you don't like what you see out there, you need to change what you're seeing in here. What are you thinking about? Did you ever go through the day and consciously try to think about what you're thinking about? Are you thinking angry thoughts? Are you complaining about the government? Are you complaining about the world, the problems? Are you focusing on all the problems in the world, on your difficulties, on your bills, on your lack? Guess what? Whatever you focus on is going to grow in your experience. I think this might be let me turn this music down just a little bit. How about that? I'm not sure how that's coming across here on the video. I know some people don't like it when I play music on the video, but I just thought I'd try that out today. So back to the reflection. What you see in your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. These people that I work with that have these troubles, they're screwed up on the inside. Now that's a difficult thing to accept, especially when you're in a relationship with a woman. If you're telling your mentor or your buddy or your friend how terrible your wife is and how she's doing all these crazy screwed up stuff, well, she's reflecting something in you. Why is she acting that way? I guarantee you, if you leave her, and I'm not telling you to stay or go, whatever, you have to make that choice yourself. And you don't look within yourself and change whatever it is in you that's attracting that type of person to you, you will end up down the road with the same situation again. She'll have a different face, maybe a different body, but you'll end up in the same situation again. Until you look within and find out what's going on that's bringing these people into your life. Those people that give you problems are just a symptom. They're a symptom of the problem, and the problem is you. You are the problem. But there's a good side to that too. You are the solution. The solution lies within you. You know exactly what you need to do. I'm going to shut this off here so it doesn't start playing. But sometimes you need someone to speak to about it, like a mentor or a guide, a leader, to reflect off of him or what you need to do. Sometimes he doesn't need, many times, he doesn't need to say anything. When you tell it to someone else, you hear what you're saying and your answers will come. As I said, you know exactly what to do and what needs to be changed. Now, whether you take the action, that's a whole different story. That, of course, is up to you. Only you can do your push-ups. No one can do them for you. So back to success. If you want success in life, first you must become a success. We attract what we are, not so much what we want. We only attract what we want when we become what we want. And then it will be brought into our life without very little effort from you, or me in my case. My biggest job is to get up and stay the hell out of the way and just do what's in front of me. I think it's good to have a plan. I preach this all the time, but you need to write your goals down. Write your goals down, make a plan to achieve them, and write the reasons why you want to achieve these things. But never forget to enjoy the process, the journey. Because when you accomplish your goal, or when you accomplish your vision, or reach your end result, you'll have a bit of elation. That is not really what success is. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. Now, it has to be a worthy goal. It can't be revenge against your ex. That may give you a feeling of somewhat elation if you get it, but that'll come back, that will boomerang back to destroy you. I've lived long enough, I'm 62, I've lived long enough to see that truly what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow, and karma, the way most people understand it, I don't think it's really the way it is, but people believe karma is what goes around comes around. That's part of it, but it truly does. If people only lived by that, we wouldn't have all the wars that we have. But because you can't force anyone to do anything. And if you do, you're only forcing yourself. Everything comes back. What is it, the old saying on the farm? The chickens come back to roost. And truly they do. So remember, I say this all the time, but repetition is the mother of invention. It's also the mother of success. Whatever you put out there comes back to you multiplied. Whatever you take from out there is taken from you multiplied. Never give expecting to receive from the person or institution you give to. I mean, unless of course it's your job, they're going to pay you. But why not give a little more? Why not do more than you're getting paid for? And don't expect anything back from them. I just finished a job. It was a, I won't say what it was because I'm not sure who's watching. Anyway, we did a lot of extra things that they will never know. And then at the end, they were becoming very picky. Well, what about this? What about that? It's like I wanted so badly to say, you got so much more than you paid for. But I didn't, because if I did that, then I was doing that for them. I'm not doing it for them per se. I'm doing it for God, for the universe. I'm doing it because I know that somehow, some way, that's going to come back to me multiplied. Yes, I have expectations, of course. I don't know when it'll come back. It may be next week. It may be next year. It may be 10 years from now. Maybe in another lifetime. I'm not sure. But I know, because I've seen it work time and time again, it comes back to me multiplied. If I don't expect it back from that person. Sometimes we get tips and things like that, and that's nice, and I accept them. You must always accept when someone offers you something. If you can take it, take it. Because it's so easy for people to give, well, some people, but they have a hard time receiving. But you have to keep your hand open to give and open to receive. You want the flow to continue you want to keep the flow going. And if you close your hand to receive, oh no, I don't think so. Because of your pride, then you will stop the flow. It's just like pouring a glass in the water. It's got to come out. As you pour it in, it has to come out. And that's the same way life is. When you give, you have to receive. And the more you allow yourself to receive, don't let pride stop you, the more comes into your life. And how big a bucket do you have? I mean, you can take, if you want ocean water, let's consider the universe or God as the ocean. You can go there with a thimble, for sewing, or you can go there with a 5-gallon bucket. Doesn't matter to the ocean. Neither does it matter to God or the universe. Life will pay what you ask it to pay. Are you asking just to get your rent paid? Oh God, I gotta pay that electric bill before they cut me off. I've had my electric cut off before, I think. I'm pretty sure I have. And I didn't forget to pay it. I just didn't have enough money to pay it. That was years ago, but it's happened to me. Too much partying. My priority was my party and not paying the bills. And that's what happens to you. So, but the point I'm making here, are you focusing on, oh God, I just got to get enough money to pay that rent, to pay that bill? Well, that's what you're asking from life. Guess what you're going to get from life? Just enough to get by. Why not ask for more? Life doesn't care. God doesn't care what you ask for. He will give you what you ask for. But you have to be willing to receive, and you have to be expecting to receive. Not in an angry sort of way, but in a way that you just believe that things are going to work out. You can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. That's a Zig Ziglar quote. What are you giving? What are you giving? Let's say you want to make $100,000 a year. Why not ask, whatever you believe in, your higher power, what value can I provide to humanity that in return I will receive $100,000 a year? Ask that question over and over until you get the answer. And when you get the answer, then do that. Take the action to provide that value to people. Many of us grow up in an environment where our parents are just getting by. They're barely making the bills. They're complaining about the high price of gas. Hey, I want to complain about it too, but in our society, we are so babied and coddled here. I mean, quit drinking those big gulps. That'd give you a couple gallons of gas if you're drinking 2 of those a day. Plus, be a lot better for your health. I mean, all the luxuries we have. I mean, we have a massage parlor here. Not a brothel massage, but we never had that when I was kids. That was something for the rich and famous. We got tanning beds, people go. We got fast food everywhere. Kids are going to soccer games every night. I mean, and in my community, I would say the overweight or obese rate is probably 90 to 95% here. In the U.S., I think the stats are 75 to 80% now. We live in such an abundant society, such a successful society. This is something man has dreamed about for centuries. And actually, we're destroying ourselves with all the comfort we've created for ourselves. If you can't be successful in a first world country like the U.S. here, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, why am I not successful? You're looking at the problem. You're looking at the reason you're not successful. There's nothing wrong with working. It makes you feel good as a man. Get out there and work. Where I live here, I see advertisements, little signs all over the place. $35 an hour, $25 an hour. Add that up. What's that come out to a year if you work 40 hours a week? And besides that, these are trades you can learn, but you have to work. I think sometimes we should take the word work and get rid of it because it connotates something bad or, oh, God, I got to go to work. I get to go to work. You know how many people are sitting in nursing homes wishing they could go out there and do something? They could be of service to humanity. Hundreds of thousands of people. And many of them are able to give service, but they've been locked away by, I say locked away, they've been put in the nursing home by their children because their children are too busy working, they don't have time to take care of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I was able to take care of my mother and father before they passed, but they could have gotten to a point where I wasn't able to do that. So it would have been difficult, plus I had the 6 kids to raise. So I'm not bad-mouthing you if your parents are in a nursing home, but at least go and see them when you get a chance, okay? Or make the time. Don't wait till you get a chance. Just go and do it. Because regardless of how badly your parents raised you, they could have aborted you. They could have gotten rid of you, and they didn't do it. And you're here today. And someone fed you. Maybe it wasn't your parents, but somebody did. Somebody took care of you. Otherwise, you would not be here. Someone took the time out of their life to make sure you're still alive today. Be grateful. Gratitude is another part of success. If you focus on what you're grateful for, because everything you have today is something you wanted yesterday. I know a lot of you have heard me say that before. So you thought yesterday about what you were going to have today that you wanted, and you thought that would give you a certain feeling of happiness and fulfillment. Otherwise, you wouldn't have desired it. And it's okay to want things. You're going to want things up until your last breath. But your wants should be, how would I say, your acceptance and your wants should be equal. Whenever your wants get up here and your acceptance is way down here, then you become unhappy. But a certain amount of discontent is good because it motivates us to expand and to do more. But you don't want to get so, how do I say, so unaccepting that you don't appreciate and you're not grateful for what you have. A lot of times we look at these people on social media, Grant Cardone, Cobra Tate, Andrew Tate, and let's say, who's another one? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. And these people are put up on a pedestal for us to almost worship and admire as successes. But we look at their outer world. We don't know how truly successful they are. Are they happy? Are they content? Are they fulfilled? For a man, I don't think it's so much happiness. Are we fulfilled? Now, they may be. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not saying they are or they aren't, but I'm just using them as an example. And so what happens is many people, many younger people, look at these great successes, and they are great successes financially. Okay, and then they measure their lives by these people's lives. And we can't do that. As I started this off, success has to be determined by you. Now, if you think when you get all this money or get this or get that, you're going to be happy, you're living under the false presumption that that is the case, and it's not. Who was it? Carrie? Who's the actor that played, he's funny as hell, The Mask. I can't remember his name, but he said one time, I wish everyone would get all the money and success that they wanted. This isn't verbatim. So they could realize that that isn't it. And that's not it. It's not the end goal. It's the journey. If you're not enjoying life today, many people work till they retire. Like their whole life is working until they can retire and live their life. Well, we're living right now. If you're not enjoying now, guess what? You're not going to enjoy it when you retire any more than you are now. This is life. This is eternity, this very moment. Enjoy now what you have, what you wanted yesterday that you have today. Otherwise, it's a never-ending thing of wanting something you think is going to make you happy. I consider myself a blessed and fortunate man. I've had many experiences in my life, some extremely uncomfortable. Um, I've had to run from the law on several occasions when I was younger and had a little less wisdom than I have now. I've since worked all that out because I wanted things my way. So I fought the system because I thought they were being unfair to my family. And whether they were or not, it worked out good for me because I needed to be humbled. I needed to be beat down to my right size because I thought I knew what was best for everybody and everything. I didn't go with the flow of life. I fought against the flow of life, and I attacked people's character. And whatever you put out there comes back to you multiplied. But I finally got to a point where I realized that I don't know everything. I don't know what's best for everybody. Sometimes I don't even know what's best for me. Because if I did, then I would have realized when I was going through these things that this is exactly what I needed to beat me down, to knock my pride and ego down. Even though it wasn't right according to how the world works, it wasn't just, it wasn't fair. But also, as I've said before, I'm glad life isn't fair, because if it were, I would have been in big trouble many years ago for some of the things I did to people. Now, it all came back to me because nobody gets away with anything. You may outrun the law, you may outwit the law, but you aren't going to outwit or outrun the laws of the universe. Truly, what goes around comes around. So remember that when you're dealing with people. Treat people fairly, treat people the way they want to be treated. And most people will tell you how they want to be treated. And that brings me back to women. Treat women the way they want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated. If you compare that to a child, you don't treat a child the same way you want to be treated. You don't speak to a child the way you want to be spoken to. And women are different from you. They don't want to be spoken to the same way you want to be spoken to, or treated the same way you want to be treated. So if you're having trouble with women, if that's something that means success for you, to date women, to be able to have game, to navigate in the field of relationships, remember that women are different from men. We don't think the same. We're not on the same playing field. It reminds me of that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, because we are so different. It's almost like we do live in two different worlds. I mean, we live in the reality world, of course, but their worldview is completely different from yours. So don't get pissed off at them. They just see things different. And they look at you the same way. They think, look at men. Look how men are. Yes, men are different. We're all different. We need to accept those differences. We need to work together because we're better together than we are apart. But if we're together and we're not cooperating with each other, then we're better off apart. But woman was made for man was made for woman, if you want to look at it that way. Or we come together and we're better together if we're working together. As I said, I'll repeat that again and again. We must work together or humanity will become extinct. Think about it. We can't have children without women, and women can't have children without us. So let's just say we all got pissed off at each other and then, screw it, I ain't messing with women no more, and women got tired of men. Because we can't accept each other's differences. We want to fight. What happens in a marriage when that happens? They get divorced, they go their separate ways, and the destruction follows. Same way with us in humanity. We need to learn how to get along with each other. And we need to know as men that women don't want to be treated like men. Now, I know there's a lot of women growing up in our society today, and they're taught to be masculine. But how well is that working? It's not working well at all. A 50% divorce rate or more, 70% initiated by the woman. It's not working well at all. And I don't think anybody will disagree with me, well, maybe someone will, that the best atmosphere or environment to raise children is with a man and a woman. I mean, I've raised these 6 kids by myself for 11 years, but they miss out because they don't have the nurturing, the loving, the caring, the emotional support that a woman can provide that I'm not capable of because I'm not a woman. I mean, I can do so much, but I'm just like, I don't have that in me. Most men don't. It's not a masculine trait. It's a feminine trait. Just as per se, women can't go out and do the things men can do. And when men aren't being masculine, which is what I see a lot of in the US here, we have women converting to their masculine because men aren't being men. And women despise weak, feminine type men, regardless of what they say. Look at what they're attracted to. They're not attracted to that. They don't feel safe with a man like that. Oh, well, that's getting way off topic. Maybe, well, success, if you're into women and dating and things like that. I think all of us men are. It never ends, guys. I'm 62. It never ends. You're always going to want to be with a woman. I mean, I'm single, been single for over 10 years. I've dated some. Had a girlfriend from Colombia. I dated her for over a year. We traveled a lot. It was fun. I enjoyed being with her. But you find out in life as things go on, and I've experienced this actually earlier in life, that my success is not my notch count or how many women I've been married to or gone out with or had relationships with, whatever. That doesn't fulfill a man. It fulfills your ego somewhat, but it's not going to fulfill you as a man. You have to have something bigger than you. You have to have a vision of something you're going to leave behind when you go, whether it's your children, if you write a book, or now we can do videos and things that last beyond ourselves. For a man, this is important to leave a legacy. What legacy are you going to leave? What are people going to say about you when you die? What do you want them to say about you when you die? These are things you might want to do. I would suggest you do them. To have a successful life, contemplate what your life means. What do you want your life to mean? It's up to you. Life really has no inherent meaning. Only the meaning you ascribe to it. It's like if a car wreck happens down the street and everybody gets killed, what does that mean? It has no meaning. It's an event. It only means what it means to us. A beautiful day for you may be a terrible day for someone else, because you each look at it differently. You each live in your own world. Yes, we share the common world here, but from your eyes, you experience things through the filters of your life experiences. Some people love rainy days, some people hate them. Same rainy day, but two different world views. Everything you see out there, you actually see in here. Everything you hear out there, you hear in here, filtered through every experience you've had in life. And many of those experiences you don't even remember because you were a child. But they're in there. Your subconscious doesn't miss a lick. That's an old saying. For some of you, what that means is it doesn't miss anything. It gets everything, everything. Like as I'm talking to you right now, I can see out the window. I'm not paying any attention to that. But if there's birds out there flying, if there are people moving, my subconscious is taking all that in. And another point about being successful, who's programming your mind? What are you allowing into your mind? What is your mental diet? Are you watching 4 or 5 hours of TV every night like most average Americans? Are you reading books about people or things or goals you want to achieve and how other people did it? Are you watching YouTube videos with creators that are doing or have done what you want to do? Are you learning from them? You need to constantly be expanding. The universe is constantly expanding. And if you're not expanding, you're contracting. And that leads to depression, which we have an epidemic of here in the US. And that goes along with the overweight problem we have here too. People don't eat because they're hungry here. In other countries, yes. But they eat for comfort. Food has become such a pleasurable pastime. And look at the results. Even though it's killing people. Now that benefits the pharmaceutical companies, big pharma I think they call it, and also benefits the food companies, which is $1 trillion a year industry. Did you ever take time to read the ingredients on some of the food you eat? Yeah, you can't even pronounce the names of some of that. A lot of our products here in the US, I heard someone list off 10 of them the other day, are illegal in other countries because of the chemicals they have in them. I consider myself fortunate to grow up in a time where it wasn't near as bad. So as I was developing initially, I had good food. We ate a lot of food from my grandma's farm, so that was good. And the processing was not near as, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, when you bought a loaf of bread, if you didn't eat it within 3 or 4 days, it molded. You can buy this bread now, let it sit on the shelf for 2 months, and it's just like it was when you bought it. What do they put in that stuff? And then you want to eat it, it's like there's nothing there. Go to the vegetable stand. Eat those vegetables. They look beautiful, but there's no flavor, there's no taste. Compare that to a garden-grown tomato, produce bought tomato. Night and day. So success too. Are you taking care of your body? Are you taking care of yourself? I don't care how much money you got or how much success you have, whatever that means to you. If you are not healthy, you can't enjoy it. You can't really buy good health. You have to put out effort to attain it. That's part of success also. I hear some noise. Someone's going to come knocking on my door any minute. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you'd like to get my help personally, you can check me out at marksinspiration.com. Check out my books on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within. And you do have the power within you to change, to make your life as you wish it to be. You are the master of your fate. You're the captain of your fate, the master of your destiny. I can't remember how it goes. You got the point. Okay, and check me out on Instagram, Mark's Inspiration. Yeah, Mark's Inspiration. And if you're watching this on Instagram, check me out on YouTube, Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration. And I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up. Check us out next Saturday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Power is Within podcast. We're going to have John Fitch, a former UFC fighter. You can check him out on YouTube. There's a lot of clips. He fought Pierre. I think he lost to him, but he fought for the World Championship, I believe. So he's got some good stuff. He's also got his own YouTube channel. I think you can find him at John Fitch on YouTube. Check us out tonight. If you're watching this on Instagram, The Dragon Ship. Got a good show coming up tonight, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's about it. Thanks for joining me. And once again, thank you to my new subscribers. Appreciate you. If you have any questions or comments, you'd like me to speak on something, leave it in the comment section. Be sure to hit the like button and take care. Have a great day.